Yeah. My whole department's long on this stuff. They call me Chicken Little. They call me Bubble Boy.
A's, 0. B's, 0. Double B's, 0. Triple B's, 0.
And then that happens.
What is that?
That's America's housing market.
Welcome to Table Talk. I am Joe Franklin.
And I'm Nick Silvin.
And the clip that we just showed is from the movie The Big Short. And that's one of your favorite movies,
It's
isn't it,
definitely
Nick?
one of my favorite movies.
So,
I love that movie.
What do you like the most about The Big Short? Or what do you
There's
really
a
like
lot
about
of things I like about the movie, but
Yeah.
I really like Michael Burry when he's playing the drums. He's getting a lot of things out when things aren't working out for him, when the market's still going up, and he's shorted. So
Yeah, because he decided to short the housing market and it didn't work for him at first.
Right.
And then it did. But yeah, it's about a true story, and I like these movies that are about true stories. And this movie has a lot of good actors in it. Of course, you've got Christian Bale that plays Michael Burry.
Right.
You got Steve Carell that plays another manager, and Brad Pitt's in there, and Margot Robbie made a little part in there.
Selena Gomez.
And of course, I think Davey's favorite is the Goose, Ryan Gosling, and
Yeah.
he was in there. But of course, that was from that clip just then. But it conveys the time when, in the great financial crisis, when a lot of people shorted the housing market, and they made money shorting the housing market when things were falling apart. And we want to look at what we can learn from that period to help protect ourselves from this potentially upcoming period that has a lot of similarities. And so going into recessions, we see a lot of things that tend to happen. Usually we have a period where the Fed's trying to fight inflation. They start raising interest rates. Right now, interest rates, they've raised the Fed funds rate up to about 5.25%. And prime rate's at 8.5%. Nobody seems to be able be able to afford a mortgage right now. A lot of companies can't refinance, and they go under, like Rite Aid and a few others. I guess Bed Bath & Beyond went under this past year. So, yeah, so not good. U.S. dollar falls a little bit like it did last year. That doesn't always happen in these periods, but sometimes it happens. And then unemployment starts to kick up. And of course, we bottomed with unemployment at 3.4% last year, and it got up to 3.9% so far. Fed's expecting 4.1 by the end of 2023. We'll come out with the numbers here pretty soon, so we'll find out. But eventually, the Fed halts rates, which they already have, and then they start cutting rates, which they're expecting to in March. Yeah. And so, and then the yield curve starts to uninvert. We get a normal yield curve again. It's been inverted for quite some time, and so people have been waiting for the shoe to drop, but it's stayed inverted. How long has it been inverted now, Nick?
I think about 21 months or so.
Jeez, it's been inverted since 2022, and so the market was selling off in 2022. People thought it was a recession, but the government told us it wasn't. And so, okay, maybe we didn't have a recession because we didn't have unemployment going up. But now we've got unemployment going up, and a lot of the same things happening. And so what are we looking for to head into a recession? Usually we see the Fed's hiking, and sometimes we'll have a soft landing if a lot of these other things aren't happening. But if we've had high inflation, the Fed's hiking very aggressively like they have been. They've hiked more aggressively this time than any time since the late 70s, early 80s. I think actually even faster this time.
Yeah.
Trying to fight off that inflation shock. We see rising unemployment, which we've already seen. It's already above the 12-month average. And usually that happens, and we get above that, and it just goes asymptotic from there.
Yeah.
And then we see tightening lending standards, and sometimes the recession's upon us right away. Sometimes it's not right away, like in '89 or 2006.
Little lag.
Sometimes there's a lag. Sometimes it's a forced lag caused by fiscal stimulus, like maybe the Inflation Reduction Act or the CHIPS Act, and the government's trying to extend things. But we always see the inverted yield curve go back to normal, and this is what happens when the inversions go away. You can see these spikes that they're showing the inversions. They come back down, and things get back to normal. When that happens, by that point, we're usually already in a recession. So is it going to be different this time? It's been this way for over 50, 60 years,
Wow.
ever since we came off the gold standard. Is it going to be different this time? Maybe, but it's happened this way every other time. So you figure it out. So when we've seen this in the past, when we've had a rally in the middle of a tightening cycle or after a tightening cycle, and we come out and the yield curve uninverts, usually there's a sell-off, and the sell-off exceeds the rally. So these are all the periods that have happened in the past, and every single time the sell-off exceeded the size of the rally. And so may not be pretty, but it may be different this time. So there are some silver linings that we'll be covering in our forecast event here later in January. There's some things that have done very well that we think will continue to do very well. There's some things that haven't done as well that we think will turn around and do very well,
Right.
even in a recessionary period. So feel free to join us at the forecast event. Bring a friend, and they can learn too. And always remember to like the video and subscribe and share with friends. And we'll catch you next time. And as we like to say, stay thirsty for knowledge, my friends.